Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. Today I want to prep you because this is each exercise and working within the mind and the things that you're looking around and beginning that process of undoing literally the world around you. You've realized that, you know what? I didn't sign up for all this stuff. I don't know what it is about this place, this world, all the chaos, the drama, the discontent, the attacking of each other, the unhappiness that seems to be pervasive. I mean, you watch a movie and it's people attacking each other, it's people fighting, it's drama. Every once in a while maybe you find a funny movie that isn't so dramatic, that's just cute and loving and whatever, but that's few and far between in our day and age. It seems like we're attracted to this drama. But if we sit and think about it for any length of time, it begins to wear on us. And at some point in time, maybe you've already come to the point where I've come to, in one of the first exercises we talked about, Neil Donald Walsh, where he just got to the end of it all and said, what is the point? Why am I here? What's going on? Nothing makes any sense. I remember saying that many times. And today's exercises, I've got 3 for you. The first one starts out, my thoughts do not mean anything. So of all the thoughts that you are aware in your brain that you're thinking all day long, they really don't mean anything. We can try to put substance behind them and say, well, yes, they do. I'm planning my day. Or I've got to get to a dental appointment, or I've got to get the kids here, or I've got to do this for my spouse, or whatever it is. It might seem like something, but ultimately it's really quite meaningless. All these things that we do all day long, if you've ever been around or even done some meditation, done some prayer, done some things where you've just tried to let some things go and be at ease and relax into your day, I have found that my day literally runs itself. People say, well, you're just going to sit in a room and meditate all day and not do anything. So no, it really, when you start connecting to the infinite that is you, that is God, that is the Creator, and He is one with you, you begin to find yourself directed. And that's the best way I describe it, is that I can be sitting there and then all of a sudden I'm up moving. My body's moving and I guess I'm going to the kitchen to make some food. Or I guess it's time to go to work. Or I guess it's time to go do this. As I release that form of control that my brain thinks it has over things and just put a monkey wrench in its thinking process and now sit back and rest and be at peace, be still, I find myself being directed more and more and more. And so that's kind of where we're going, because that direction actually gives us the most peace, the most joy, the most love, and it keeps us out of stress's harm's way. And so as we go through this process, here's a thought that you might have travel around your mind a little bit. There is no time, no place, no state where the Creator or God is absent. He is every when, everywhere, every situation. He's right there. And He's constantly wanting your best. He's not wanting your worst. He's not out to get you. He's not out to punish you. There's no reason that you need suffer, because there's nothing you need do for Him. He's got it all. He invited you and created you to be a part of Him, not to fight the everything that is you, that is the joy of you, that is the infinity of you, that is the divinity of you. And we find we do that. Like, we need drama in our life because it seems boring if I don't. Well, there's plenty of fun and excitement in having yourself run and being at peace and being truly at joy and happiness. What goes with that? A lot of the world, you can jump into the world anytime and be in drama and have the misery of that and suffer. I'm not going to stop you. But for those of you that are like, you know what, I'm really realizing that my thoughts are kind of my own worst enemy. that I'm the one that drags myself into thinking that people are out to get me, that there's regrets, that they're trying to get the best of me, or that I'm being put down, or that the world is deciding who you are instead of you deciding who you are. So as we work on this first concept, my thoughts do not mean anything, you're going to look inside and literally say things like, my thoughts about shoes do not mean anything. My thoughts about work do not mean anything. My thoughts about honor do not mean anything. Nothing's out of the loop here. Everything is fair game, whether it's a concept, whether it's a situation, a person, a place, an idea, all of them fit in there. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. As we begin to realize that we judge things from such a limited perspective, and that it really is meaningless, most of the thoughts that run through our mind. For those of you that may have had some times of true clarity and gotten a download from the Creator or from the universe or whatever you want to call it, or got inspiration and it was profound, those are your real thoughts, if you will, or at least they're as close to your real thoughts as you can get. The little thoughts that we think separate from everybody else, that we want to keep separate and keep private, they're meaningless. They don't go anywhere. They have no power, no force, no effect. And so as we begin the process of realizing that I need to let go of most of my thinking, this next part, or this next step, is to really sit for maximum a few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the day for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and just analyze every thought. And just watch your thoughts come to your head and simply say, my thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Now, as we start doing this, it can be uncomfortable for people. So if it becomes uncomfortable immediately, stop. But as you do this a couple times, do it as long until that discomfort comes. But what that discomfort is in the next final step of this process, which is, I am upset because I see a meaningless world. So whatever we think is upsetting about the world can be frightening, or a sad world, or a violent world, and ultimately we have to realize, or an insane world. And so the world we live in, it seems to be devoid of order, of organization. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Everything just seems so arbitrary. And so as we begin this process, we start thinking that, this just doesn't make any sense. And now it becomes fearful because I don't know my place. I don't know what's going on. I feel very exposed. And so those are things that can certainly begin to be upsetting. And so as long as you understand where it's coming from, we're going to start digging back into who we are as an infinite being and start really searching deeply for that connection and our real thoughts that want our very best. So all of this is to get us to a point to really realize that God created us, one with Him, to share His abundance and joy and love with everybody else. And the more we give, the more we receive. And that is our purpose, to be exactly who we were created to be love, the embodiment of love, joy, peace. And we're really given everything. Everything is at your beck and call. You can create at will because that's who you are as an individual. But our mind tends to want to block us. And we kind of talked about that a little bit last podcast on the, I believe it's the fifth exercise. And so you might re-listen to that and go back in and say, oh yeah, my mind is constantly throwing out thoughts and has beliefs of its own that I have put there. And so we kind of undid that the last podcast. This one is now starting to acknowledge that beyond my limited thoughts, I'm just getting upset by all of them because really it's meaningless. So as you go through this, don't spend much time. You might do it more frequently for less periods of time of going through, hey, my thoughts do not mean anything to me. Or my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Or then finally, I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. When I've had clients that were unwilling to go through this process yet, they tend to get very angry about the thought of, well, if everything's meaningless, then why would I do anything? I mean, that's a natural progression. I remember being there at one point in time. And you have to kind of stick through that and just relax that thought or let it go. I'm not trying you to force it away or detach from it, but simply just say, you know what? We'll get to that and we'll get an answer for that. You can ask inside deeply and you may get the answer sooner, but we're going to talk about those things as we go and unpack that for you. But one step at a time, let's begin that process of really seeing that our thoughts are really showing us a meaningless world. And how do we go beyond that? So until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach Dr. Munson at 360-893-8586 or email him at chiroman@dr.com. That's chiroman@dr.com. Check out our current workshop schedule on Facebook at Infinity Whole Health.